Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and every day when I think that XRP could not get more exciting in what's coming right now, I'm surprised. Today is like one of those days where I'm like, wow, here we go. Before we get going on that, I wanted to show you this because I keep talking about how with all these new products, whether it's yield or borrowing against XRP, I'm not going anywhere near it right now. Because in the case of DeFi, you've got things like this. You've got these, look at this. North Korean hackers are embedding unremovable malware inside smart contracts, a method called ether hiding. Google confirms it's the first nation-state attack using on-chain backdoors to steal crypto. All I'm focused on is keeping my stuff safe right now. I'm waiting for the products to mature, for the markets to get more liquidity, and I am, just like in the book, I think it's the Sun Tzu Art of War, I am lying in wait. It says lie in wait, then strike like a thunderbolt. Well, when things are mature and there's companies involved that have major years-long reputational risk involved, and I understand all the risks and all the risks involved in each product, I will lie in wait, and then I am lying in wait, and then I will then strike like a thunderbolt. I'm dying to monetize my XRP, get some yield and that kind of stuff, but I am waiting. In the meantime, I keep telling you what I'm doing is I've partnered with Caleb and Brown because they have free institutional custody through Fireblocks. I get my own broker. I can either email him, call him, or direct message him in the app. And then I get the OTC liquidity. If you're interested in opening an account, it's xrpwealth589.com is a little .com I created so it would forward you to my page here on Caleb and Brown. You just click sign up today. The markets, XRP's gotten on up to 246, kind of sitting still there right now. And then there was this. Ashish Birla. You know how I've said in the past that people don't quit working at Ripple, they're deployed from Ripple. Well, it looks like Ashish Birla was deployed. I'm proud to share that we've launched Evernorth XRP. Let me see if I've followed that yet. Yep. First of its kind institutional vehicle built to accelerate XRP adoption with over a decade of uptime and rapidly growing DeFi ecosystem. XRP is well positioned for adoption, and Evernorth is built to meet that moment. Here's the interesting part from the announcement. The transaction is expected to raise over $1 billion in gross proceeds, including $200 million from SBI and additional investments from Ripple. Ripple Works, an independent charitable foundation supporting social impact ventures globally, and leading digital asset fintech leaders and investors, including Pantera Capital, Kraken, GSR, with participation from Ripple co-founder Chris Larson, among others. Net proceeds will primarily fund open market purchases of XRP to build the world's leading institutional XRP Treasury, with a portion allocated to working capital, general corporate purposes, and transaction expenses. This is huge, folks. And then here's Evernorth announcing it. Big news, we're going public. We've entered into a business combination agreement with Armada Acquisition Corp. 2, a transaction expected to raise over $1 billion, creating the largest public XRP treasury company on the NASDAQ under XRPN. How cool is that? Brad Garlinghouse thinks it's cool too. Ashish and team are building something special with Evernorth. We're proud to partner with him, proud to join an incredible set of investors, including SBI, Pantera, Kraken, GSR, Ripple Works, to support Evernorth as it participates in institutional lending, liquidity provisioning, and DeFi yield opportunities for XRP. There's the kind of DeFi yield opportunities I could get into. Stuart Alderati. XRP has a clear regulatory standing in the U.S., and it's no surprise that companies like Evernorth are looking to focus on XRP. Congrats, Ashish Birla, and the amazing team he has assembled. Then Chris Larson comes in. Congrats, team on Evernorth fills missing link today in XRP capital markets and XRP usage in DeFi products. I'm proud to invest 50 million XRP in the firm. You may see some wallet movement on this. Big time. This is big, folks. And then David Schwartz, XRP community. I promised I'd have an update on my next adventure soon, right? Well, here's the start. I'll be strategic advisor to Evernorth, helped by my friend Ashish Birla. Evernorth is founded as a regulated, scalable investment vehicle. Tap into opportunities for XRP and DeFi and capital market, extending the entire XRP ecosystem. I'm excited to get started. Folks, this is massive. Dom points out a couple of important things. The important thing to know as XRP Treasury company is that it will be buying XRP on the open market. There's only so much available on the open market, folks. Not at a discount, which many other Treasury companies do. Everything you need to know about the first ever XRP Treasury company. $1 billion raised to buy XRP. Purchases made on the open market. What is this going to do? Are you telling me that Ashish Birla, what have they been saying for years? Ripple's dumping on it on retail XRP holding. So now they're pumping on XRP holders, is what this means. Major investors, SBI Ripple co-founder Chris Larson, provides stock market investors with exposure to XRP. Long-term goal drive XRP utility adoption and catalyze the adoption and institutionalization of XRP Ledger. Folks, this is massive. And then I went, Ripple just bought GTreasury. Well, guess what? GTreasury has been waiting for what Ripple offers for years. This is from 2 years ago. This is Roger Commons, Senior Product Manager at GTreasury.
APIs are a channel, but also the settlement networks are changing in terms of new, faster payment networks or real-time payment networks. Some of these have been around for a little bit, but the real-time settlement networks are really in their infancy. There's growth needed there, I would say, but it's exciting to see lots of discussions with our own customers around what's coming here and with the banks as well. So those networks are growing.
What's an example, Roger? Give a couple examples of those networks.
Well, you see in the U.S., the Federal Reserve's getting involved, but some of the banks even working with the real-time payment network. When I say there's growth to be done there, it's mostly for that in terms of two things. One, the participants among the banks that we need to see get involved, right? If only 3 banks are participating, it's not as interesting. But also things like the dollar amount that you can send through these networks. I've seen some that are sitting around 25,000 USD. It's hard for a customer to have to put in place logic that, I can only send certain payments through this network. I have to know to send them through this channel and this settlement network if they're over this amount. I know customers and vendors like us deal with that, but, the more that this can grow in terms of participants and the scope of what you can send, the better it's going to be, of course. There's certain settlement systems that are getting better, but not quite real time, where it's exciting to see some improvements to visibility coming. I'll point to Swift GPI, right? Cross-border, and if foreign exchange is involved, there's still quite a bit of work to be done in terms of settling those faster, but at least now with what GPI is bringing to the table in terms of universal tracking, we can at least see where our payments are. It was somewhat of a void before, so we're definitely excited to see that improvement there. And it's interesting to hear from Swift some of the stories they've mentioned around seeing improvements in the processing time, because now everyone is able to track every step in the way. It's all very welcome change on that front in terms of visibility.
Okay, and then I found another clip. I'm going to play the first part of it. I'll play the second half in the group. Listen to, now this is the senior project manager, Joe Susinka. Probably butchered your name, Joe. This could very well be the guy that flips the proverbial switch, because this was said like literally a few weeks before the Ripple acquisition was announced.
Now onto some more like how do you get more out of payments as a whole? I want to see more. I think we've seen the slower adoption here around more real-time payment methods. I'm expecting it to tick up. We're seeing more and more limits raised for what can be sent. We're seeing improved security on that as a whole.
Let you see this better.
But around more real-time payment methods and also blockchain payments as a whole. I'm not going to say crypto yet. I'm going to say
Not
blockchain.
yet.
We are seeing some bank-specific offerings around intercompany settlement and being able to move those funds, tie it to kind of an intercompany netting even for how those can be done. With blockchain, that'll be a lot less cost, a lot faster payment as a whole. If we're looking at these, we're talking about 24/7, 365 available payment rails that have a really nice audit, like kind of that immediate, I've sent it, I now know it's complete and I know it's done. Irrevocable type payment that's tied to these APIs. So if you are dealing with more time sensitive payments, I was talking to someone just the other day of they're trying to I need to send this wire and I need to know it pretty much exactly when it clears so that I can do the next thing that I need to do from there. And so they would just sit and hit refresh, waiting to get that acknowledgement back from the bank for the 30, 40 minutes it can take to go through there. With these, it's a lot quicker. And it has new better technology there, even webhooks sometimes it'll just notify you when it's done. You're not even just waiting to see when something becomes available. So if you're moving more real time, you have some of those more time sensitive payments that you are currently just sitting and hitting refresh to see when those go through. Those would be good targets for what you'd be looking to move over. Doesn't have to be, I'm going to send all my ACH via RTP now. That's not really a good use case I'd advise. But there are ones where I've mentioned, I do a lot of wires. I want to move those over for cost savings, or I have these strategic time sensitive ones that I'm currently doing via wire. But
now I'm going to play the second half of this. In the second half, by the way, he mentioned specifically Ripple, and this is like a few weeks before the announcement. Mentions crypto specifically and Ripple. Now, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com. That's the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these videos. If you'd rather join through X, just hit subscribe. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family. Listen to this.